So the meeting is now live on YouTube. I just sent Missy the link. So the world is watching you eat. So the meeting is now
Hi, lad. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is my audio working?
Perfect.
Yep.
Good job. Blakeney, can you hear us okay?
Thumbs up.
Can you test your mic, Jason, so as we know we can hear you?
Yeah, you guys sound great. Lad sounds great. Yeah, everything sounds
You
good.
sound great. You sound great too.
Excellent.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. It's almost a dress. It goes down to my knees, but you can't see that. So
More recording. I know. I was gonna say something there for recording. So do we?
We'll add that to the rules. This will be required quality control assurances.
Also, yeah, we do too. How do we know when the public joins?
He'll release it at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So 5, 6-ish minutes.
So have you muted us again or?
No, I think we're
Let's mute.
You guys comparing the various backgrounds? Some nice stickers.
Yes, we are. We were admiring Blakeney's artwork in the back as we were all trying to figure out. And look at all the stickers.
Oh,
Mine's,
Yeah.
mine's a little less PC.
We are being recorded right now and we're on YouTube, just so everyone's aware.
All good.
Pause the recording again. It's kind of press these buttons. Whoa.
Hello, Pat.
Hello. I was just letting you know one of the attendees is
Just letting everyone know that we're going to start as soon as the clock turns 6. We do have some members of the public on right now. And we've got Commissioner Lane and another couple of members of the public. So we will start the meeting dead on 6. Why would you say 6?
It says 37.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the online regulation scoping effort that FWP is putting on tonight. We've been at multiple locations across the state in person. We have 2 remaining, and Eileen will touch base on those in a minute. But tonight we're going to go through the regulation scoping effort that we kind of undertook over the past 6 months. And first, I wanted to talk about some ground rules related to the online meeting format. The ground rules will be, if you have any questions, go ahead and just put your hand up online. There's a little button at the bottom of the screen. Just raise your hand and we'll get to you once that portion of the presentation is over. We will make time for questions after every component as needed. And we also wanted to let you know that the meeting is recorded tonight. So just so you're aware. And first we'll start with introductions in the room here, and then we'll move to other FWP staff across the state.
Yeah, evening everyone. I think we'll keep introductions brief so as we don't have to go around everyone. So here in Helena, in headquarters office, I'm Eileen Rice. I'm the fish chief for the department. Adam Strainer here next to me is the Habitat Bureau chief. And we've got Ryan Comstock and Ashton Mohar here helping facilitate the meeting. We also have several of our fish managers present in our Region 3 office. And we've got a couple of staff online. We've also got some Region 2 staff and Region 1 staff available. So hopefully if there's any specific questions for a specific water body, area, regulation, we will be able to get you to the people we need. I think, do you have anything else to say, or we'll just jump right in?
Yeah.
So we do have a few members of the public here. Just like Adam mentioned, please raise your hand and we'll try to get to you. Looks like we've got maybe 5 or 4 members of the public, and Commissioner Lane, the commissioner from Region 7, is also online. So just raise your hand and we'll get to you as soon as we can. So I just wanted to go over some process. The fishing regulation process has changed this year. We're no longer doing an annual book. So just as a reminder for everyone, this is the current regulation book. We're working off the 2024 booklet that will be in place through the current fishing season. The next booklet will come out March 1 of 25. But the next booklet will be for the 25 and the 26 fishing season. So this process that we're doing now is for 2 full years. During the off-cycle year, so essentially the first off-cycle year will be 2025. We will only do regulation changes if they're considered an emergency or in response to a management plan. But the intent here is only to make significant changes to the regulation booklet every 2 years. In terms of the process, we are currently in the process of scoping the regulations. So right now, we do not have any particular proposals to comment on. We have the 64 proposals that we've put out there from the department for people to look at and see, but those are not necessarily the proposals that we'll be taking forward to the commission or going public with in August. We want the public to look at those, generate discussion, let us know thoughts, comments. At this time, we are also looking for any additional regulations the public wants us to cover. And this period will end April 26th. So I will have Adam go to our website and show everybody where you can provide that input. So hopefully everyone can follow on here. This is our main FWP website. And when Adam scrolls down, you will see the proposals are right there. Like I said, there's 64. This is not necessarily what will be going to the public for comment in August. How these were generated from staff were through a full review of the current regulations book. All of the staff were asked to look at all of the exceptions within the book and basically ask the question, is the exception still relevant, still warranted based on biological information? So I'll have Adam look at one. We'll just pick one at random here. So scroll down to not that one. So if we look at one more page, this proposal here, the setup for all of the proposals is the same. The page number at the top refers to the page in the current regulation booklet. Yellow is the change. With the strike through, also obviously a deletion. Anything in italics would be an addition. The unhighlighted sections are current language that's currently in the book. So if Adam scrolls down again, all of these proposals have the same format where there's a rationale from the staff saying why this is getting put out there for consideration. Our management plan reference, so the state has an approved fishery statewide management plan that was approved by the director in October of last year. So all of our regulations need to be tied back to the management plan. And then we have some other categories for regulation type, any engagement that's happened. In our divisional review, some of them have close ties to our enforcement staff. And then under that non-biological information is anything else that's worth noting. So an example of that could be a connection to an angling constituency, or a proposal by a constituent group. So those are the regulations that have been put out there by staff. If Adam goes back to the website, we will show you how to comment. So as Adam mentioned, we've gone through most of our public meetings. We have 2 left in addition to tonight's public meeting. Tomorrow night, we're hosting a meeting in Missoula, starting at 6:30, and that's at the Missoula office on Spurgeon Road. And then on April 16th, we have a meeting in Townsend at the Townsend School Community Room, also starting at 6. Those are our last 2 meetings, in addition to this one. And then, like I mentioned, the comment period closes April 26th. So if you scroll down, in order to send a comment in, there's 3 main ways. You click on the email address, FWP Fish Comments. You can mail it in to the hard copy mailing, which is pretty rare these days. Can't remember the last time I actually got hard mail in the office, but you never know. That's available. And then the other way is by filling out the form. Essentially the exact same as doing an email. They all come through headquarters, and each comment or proposal from the public is reviewed by staff. So the next stage, once we get through the end of April, the next stage is all of these comments are reviewed by multiple staff. We will assign them to the biologists and the managers to give us their input and opinion. All of this information goes together to compile the regulation proposals that will go public in August. So there'll be another round of public comment then, and another round of public meetings, where there'll be lots of opportunity for public engagement. And then finally, all of those comments and the proposals go to the commission, and the Fish and Wildlife Commission will make a decision at their October meeting. And then again, during the October meeting, there'll be another opportunity for public comment. So that's the general process. In terms of anything else from us, I think we'll pretty much just leave it at that. That's the highlights. Everything is on our website. People can review and look at it there. If you know of people that do not have access to a computer or the internet, please reach out to one of us in the department, and we'll make sure we can get hard copies to people so as no one is left out. As I mentioned, we have lots of staff both online and in the various offices around the state and here in headquarters. We're happy to address comments, questions. That's really the purpose of tonight's meeting. Or if there is any particular proposal you want us to talk about in more detail, please let us know, and we're happy to do that too. So with that, Adam, did you have anything else before we see if anyone wants to?
No, I'll just be monitoring the attendees list, and just raise your hand. And if you have any questions, we can get you into chat with anybody you'd like.
It looks like Trout Unlimited has their hand up.
Yep, Trout Unlimited.
Oh, there you go. I think we've unmuted you, Trout Unlimited.
David Brooks here with Montana Trout Unlimited. Can you hear me?
Yes, David, we can.
Great, thank you. Appreciate all your time on this and doing all the public outreach. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be at the in-person meeting tomorrow in Missoula. Do hope to have someone from MTU there, and certainly we'll have representation at that meeting in Townsend in a couple of days or in a week. And I'm sorry, I don't have the reference as to what page the regulations are in the current book, but just wanted to throw out some thoughts we had on the Toston Dam to Canyon Ferry Reservoir section. I know that there have been over the years multiple proposals in front of the commission and in discussion with you all at FWP about that section. And as you know, we come at it from the priority of managing that as a wild trout fishery as in the state plan. And so some thoughts that we'd be interested in having considered for that section, given the increasing amount of evidence through research there on what's impacting the wild trout population when it comes particularly to other non-native game fish. A few ideas would be some localizing spawning area closures from March 1 through June 15th, based on where we're seeing trout spawning, rearing juveniles, and the largest impacts from particularly walleye and pike there. To maintain some opportunity, public opportunity, I think it'd be wise to consider catch and release for brown trout, only except for anglers 14 years of age and younger. Some modest limit of one brown trout daily or in possession, or something that still does allow some harvest while again protecting the brown trout. As far as walleye go in that whole section, and I guess we would advocate or at least like to see consideration of just going to the central district standard for that area to again standardize regulations and with the rest of the central district. On northern pike, no limit. I'm not sure if that's already in there. It does appear to in there, so that's no change. And then a couple of tributary mouths, consider mandatory harvest of walleye at tributary mouths, again, to protect spawning or juvenile trout that are particularly using a couple of tributaries, Deep Creek, Crow Creek. There may be others, but again, there's been increasing research into which of the tributaries are most important to the trout in there. And so we ought to consider protecting them through some mandatory harvests of walleyes at the tributary mouths. And however that would be defined, 100 yards up and downstream, 50 yards up and downstream. We've had, for example, particular hoot owl closures at mouths where there's a fairly standard recognition of what a mouth is by 100 yards up and downstream. So just some thoughts on that section that has been sort of a moving target for regulations for years. Happy to hear any thoughts on that. Just wanted to share that now, and we'll probably be putting this stuff into writing as well as before the comment period's over.
Thank you, David. Just a quick question. This is obviously going to be a big topic at the Townsend meeting next week. Will you have, you mentioned you'd have someone at the Townsend meeting. Will they be mentioning the same possibility at that Townsend meeting?
You bet. We'll be happy to reiterate all of that there. And maybe even by then we can be a little more definitive on some of the tributary mouths we're talking about, as well as localized spawning areas for closure in the spring. But yeah, happy to have that discussion there. As you are absolutely right, this will be a more robust topic of discussion, I suspect, in Townsend.
I would suspect so too. Any comments from any of the staff on that or follow-up for Mr. Brooks?
Eileen, this is Mike Duncan in Bozeman. David, I'd be happy to work with you and Ron to identify potential areas if you're interested in some of those tributary mouths, and what Ron's seen with this sampling and what may be relevant, either for that or the spawning closures. So happy to visit with you about either one of those.
Great, let's do that. He's absolutely the right person. I appreciate that, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep, no problem.
Thanks, David.
David, did you have any other questions or comments from Trout Unlimited?
Ooh. Sorry, I turned them off.
No, that's it for now. I suspect we'll weigh in on other things, but that was just kind of a whole new thing that I wanted to get out there. And again, we'll revisit in Townsend.
Great.
I guess other than just saying we appreciate the emphasis on continuing with the every 2-year visiting regs and only having things outside of that cycle really that have to qualify as emergency, or as you listed earlier, Eileen. I think this is just a much better process. So appreciate all the thought and commitment to it that is going into it.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? I don't see any hands up right now. Well, this could be a very short meeting if we don't have any questions or any other hands up we've got 6 or so members of the public here. Okay.
I could start naming people if you want.
Well, that's what I do feel obligated. Commissioner Lane, is there anything you would like to share? I just wanted to call you out. I see your name there. Happy to have you on the meeting here, Commissioner. If there's anything you would like to say, we'd be happy to hear from you.
No, can you hear me all right?
We can.
Okay, thank you for calling me out.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm sorry I missed the Region 7 meeting in Miles City, but I just kind of wanted to hear what everybody's thoughts were, and unfortunately there's not a lot of public comment here tonight, but I would just open myself up if I can be of any assistance. That's what I'm here for. So thank you though for everybody getting together tonight.
Thank you for joining us, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I would suggest that until you hear otherwise, the lack of public comment, you should just take as a sign that you're doing fine work.
Thank you. Don't hear that very often.
Still not seeing any hands being raised. Okay, then. I guess all the staff get to go home early. Well, I still see no hands being raised. Well, with that, as a reminder for everyone, the next meeting is tomorrow night in Missoula, and then next week in Townsend on the 16th. Otherwise, please reach out if you have any questions and we'll point you in the right direction. So thanks to everyone for attending tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
I guess we stay on until everyone gets off. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Safe travels.
Hope your pizza was good.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, Kenny.